John was a broadcast student at Syracuse. He always wanted to be a sportscaster. Is that the first time you played one?
I got to do it in Any Given Sunday with Oliver Stone, but I never got to play a real person. And so the challenge with Red, which is a sound that Brooklyn Dodger fans hold close to their heart, like a father holds a son's sound. I wanted to elevate and respect and flavor that with integrity and raise to that sound.
Duke, you were there. You knew Red Barber. What was he like? What did you think of John's performance?
You know what John to know that he played a great part, a great man, and he did a great job. Red Barber was one of the finest men I've met in this game. There's many others. Chad played a great man, of course, my idol, Jackie Robinson, there's no one that I spoke of. I wanted John to know that he played a part, a great man.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's pretty nice. I'm sure the guy who was there knows. How'd you pick these guys?
Chad came in at the hardest moment I filmed to audition right off the bat, and I'm very impressed. He chose a very brave way to do it. And John was on my street, and I met him at the mailbox one day. And he said, what do you got for me? And I said, all I got left is Red Barber, and he felt good. That was it.
McGinley didn't do anything.
True story, by the way.
Chad, your audition, was it one of the scenes that actually stayed in the movie? What was it? How'd you attack it?
That he's referring to? It's the scene in the tunnel after the challenge. It's really these racial slurs at me. It's a very emotional scene, and honestly, I didn't think about it as being courageous. It just, I think I just wanted to get it out of the way. So, it for me, said a lot about, I think the film rests on that scene because it's all building towards that moment. And if you can get through that moment, he becomes a different person. He has a different resolve as he moves forward. So to me, it was just a thing that I needed to understand as an artist to get to the other scenes.
Duke, you were there in those days, and you knew Jackie since, I think, 46 you guys played together. Did Jackie have those moments privately where he let it all out because he couldn't do it here on the field?
Jack had a lot of things on Jim, privately or otherwise, but he was the kind of man that only he could have done the job that needed to be done. And Chad performed so well representing Jackie and his memory. And I've seen the picture 3 times, and I'll see it again, and I'll guarantee you, I will have Jackie Robinson in my heart, in my mind, in my life, as my idol, that taught me how to win, and made me win. And with him and Roy Campanella, we had a great run in Brooklyn, 1949, on through 1956, 57.
Brian, there's 2 other actors who aren't here that I wanted to talk about. The young actress who plays Rachel Robinson, and of course Harrison Ford.
Harrison came to me and wanted to do the part, and I thought, he could never do it because it's Harrison Ford. Everyone's going to think that's Harrison Ford and Jackie Robinson. And he knew that too when he disappeared, and he became Branch Rickey. And it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Harrison. And he did a great job, and Nicole, I thought, brought a real strength. And Mrs. Robinson herself possesses like no one I think I've ever met, and Nicole has that in her also, and I thought that's why she was able to connect with Mrs. Robinson.
Duke, did you get a chance to know Rachel very well? What was she like?
Yes, I've known Rachel for many years and still know her. And she is one gorgeous, fine, intelligent woman. And for her to give a Jack Roosevelt Robinson, I'll guarantee you, she needed to control him, and she did. She kept him under control. And he loved his wife and loved his family. Jack was an extreme family man, and I appreciate that so much from him.
Reminds me of my great saying that behind every man is a woman rolling her eyes. When you guys saw the movie, were you emotional about it? Was it what you wanted?
Yeah, no, it was good for me. You know, by the time you're done with it, you've seen it 9 million times. So I'm just happy when people say they enjoyed it and like it a lot. So that's great.
How about you? First time you saw it, Jeff, what did you think?
I think as an actor the first time, this is just, maybe it's just me, I don't know if you like that, but I always have a difficult time watching it the first time. I think by the time I saw it the second and third times with the audience, I was able to lose myself in it and feel like the real emotions of it. And, you know, it was a wonderful experience. And a wonderful experience also watching other people television.
John, because you joined the production so late, first time you saw it was the first time you saw any of those seasons, right?
I only got to meet Chadwick very briefly in Atlanta, and Nicole. I didn't get to meet Harrison until afterwards. And so when I saw the film, it was populated by strangers to me who I'd only known from the script. And so it was new and fresh and full of integrity, and I thought Chadwick was completely astonishing.
You look like Jack.
No, but he also occupied a place of integrity and mental toughness. When the lens comes in on Chadwick, crushed.
Jackie broke the color barrier in 1947. Roy Campanella came next year, and then Nuke, you came up the year after that. But not much had changed, right? It was pretty tough for you as well.
Yes, Roy and Jackie had a rough time. And when I got there, I had something to my advantage. I had that baseball in my hand, and I didn't always know where it was going when I threw it. So I had a way of getting even for Jackie Roy and the rest of the Dodgers.
We're going to get ready to show this movie. We want to thank our panel, Don Newcombe, John C. McGinley, Chadwick Boseman, and Brian Helgeland. Gentlemen, thank you for your time and all your great work. Let them hear you.
Thank you, fans. Thank you very much.
Before we roll the movie, we want you to hear from someone else who was there. April 15, 1947, at Ebbets Field. Mrs. Jackie Robinson, Rachel Robinson.
The night before, we didn't talk about the game. We talked about our living arrangements. As it happens, we had not found an apartment, and so we were living at the McAlpin Hotel on Broadway with an infant. Jackie Jr. was still an infant. So we were caught up in our domestic affairs, and after thinking about it years later, I think that we allowed that to happen because it kept us from being anxious about the game. It was a cold day. He left early that morning because they had things to do, you know, and he left without me. So I had to make the arrangements myself. And what I didn't know was that all cabbies don't want to go to Brooklyn. So I stood on the road in front of the hotel for quite a while trying to get transportation to the ballpark. It was a big crowd. Before I got to my seat, I went to the hot dog stand and had them heat up the baby's bottle. And then I went to my seat. I got very caught up in the baby, you know. And then I was worried about him being cold, so a lady nearby offered to put him under her fur coat. And when she took him, then I could concentrate on the game. In Brooklyn, the fans were always on Jack's side. So he got a very rousing ovation, you might say. I remember very little of the game. I watched Jack for the most part. I was concentrating on him. So I was worried about how he would perform under pressure. No one knew how he was going to perform, even though he was a great athlete. When Jack scored that winning run, I was excited to go down to meet him and to hug him and tell him how proud I was of him. I went down there and met him after the game outside the clubhouse. And there were people there waiting to get autographs, and he always paid attention. great little ladies who collected their autographs and want to have a picture with them or whatever. And he always thought that they were the heart of the fanship, so he would take time to do that. When I think back on that day, I have a feeling of having survived something important. We had gone to such lengths to suppress our anxiety about that day that when we got to the ballpark and it was a reality, we knew that we were a part of something in a permanent way.
The film 42 from Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures is rated PG-13 and some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13. This true story film includes profane and offensive language, including racial slurs and violence. For our hearing impaired fans, all the TVs in the public areas will have closed captioning during the movie. Both pavilions' restrooms will be open throughout the film. Limited concessions will be available during the movie screening. Soda, candy, and peanuts are not permitted on the field. We remind all fans to treat the field with care. Respecting Blue Heaven on Earth is greatly appreciated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the movie 42.